So today we are going to react to one of my favorite subjects, really, really fat people who think that the world should bend to them, besides the legs on the chair that they sit on that bend to their weight. Okay? Now, I saw this video earlier. I want to watch it. Apparently, this gets really good. So let's see what happens.
As JaeBae petitioned for wider hallways, stronger elevators, and bigger airplane seats. However, her downfall into delusion seems to have all come to a head in the past couple of months, as JaeBae has found herself thrown into prison. When I looked into the life of JaeBae closer...
Keep in mind, she was not thrown into prison. She was carted into prison. Okay? That bitch don't get thrown anywhere. But this is the chick that I've reacted to multiple times. I'm in the gym space. I come from an obese family. I've been very obese. I specialize in fat loss as a business owner. I sell supplements. I own gyms. Like, this is what I do. We focus primarily on fat loss. Okay? These people, these morbidly, disgustingly obese people, are a problem. So we're going to break this down.
I found delusion, begging, hypocrisy, and honestly, so much worse. But it wasn't always like this, and JaeBae actually started out with pretty standard content. Jalen Chaley officially started her YouTube channel named JaeBae in 2019, and it was a far cry from her fat activist content. And she actually started out doing just standard makeup and fashion reviews, but obviously with her plus size twist.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming here to my channel. I'm so excited.
If you have to wear oxygen to breathe, that should be the indicator that there might be something going on. Also, guys, real quick, if you don't know who this guy is who made the channel, Big Craig is his name, Big Craig. Great channel, by the way. Really like all of his stuff. Make sure you go follow him. So that's the video I'm reacting to. I just want to show that.
To share the products that I have that I'm going to unbox for you guys today.
As Jalen introduced us to her channel, the first thing that sticks out is her breathing tube, which is surprising to see considering she's just 22 years old when she posted.
I thought she was like mid-30s. I'm not kidding. I thought she was like 38, 36, 35, somewhere like 22. We need to arrest her parents. Like, her parents should be arrested for child abuse. There's no way that she wasn't disgustingly obese growing up.
The video, and it reminds me a bit of Penny from My 600-Pound Life, who was never seen without her breathing tube. There's actually nothing being wrong with her. JaeBae also expands on what she does for a living, or maybe closer to what she doesn't do.
I haven't really addressed it, but right now I've been going through some health issues for the past few months.
And those health issues
self-inflicted.
Issues are pretty clearly related to her weight, as she has recently revealed that she weighs over 500 pounds. And this massive weight is something that's become a focal point of her content, as she started to realise that her clothing videos weren't getting the views that she wanted, except maybe the lingerie try-ons, which I won't be showing here. JaeBae decided to pivot slightly, and we can see the seeds of this idea when she uploaded her video titled Fat Shaming Storytime at the end of 2019, and she shared her stories of how she's been shamed for her weight in there.
So,
if you're 500 plus pounds at 22 years old, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Anyway, so I grew up around a lot of body shaming, a lot of fat shaming, drug addicts, guns, gun violence, gangs, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had lots of family members tell me I wasn't going to be shit. I wasn't going to ever graduate high school because neither of my parents graduated high school. My mom had me when she was a teen, so I was told I was going to be a slut. And
you don't have to worry about being a slut, baby. Tom Homan's deporting all the people who would actually sleep with you.
I have 2 kids. By the time I was 17 years old, I was going to live off welfare. I was going to be just terrible, terrible. For my entire life because of the people that I came from. And
you won't be terrible that long. If you're 22 and you're over 500 pounds, I mean, you'll be dead soon. So it's not really that bad of an entire life, right?
And I heard this stuff
She told us how she has been put down her entire life and really put her victim mentality on full display, but the roots of her fat activism was starting to grow as she shared this delusional monologue which feeds into the healthy at every size movement.
I have had people say all kinds of stuff, tell me all kinds of things, and I prove them wrong, and so can you. Size does not determine.
Get skinny, bitch. You're fat. Yeah, prove me wrong.
Health. Skinny people saying, judging someone's health by what they look like, how big they are, is ridiculous. Because what about people who smoke? What about people who do?
You choose. Here's the problem. If you followed her content, okay, there's what she's arguing right now is that if you're skinny, you can be unhealthy too. Yes, but skinny people don't need 3 seats on an airplane. And they don't advocate for a half a seat on the airplane because they're so skinny, right? Like, they should make these seats smaller because I don't need this much room because I'm skinny. You don't hear people saying that. It's only the opposite that say that.
All these different things that are unhealthy, use drugs, drink alcohol every single day. Just because you are skinny does not mean you are healthy. Size does not determine health.
Oh, it does. It does, sweetie. Once you have to wear curtains as clothes because you're so fucking big, that's your sign. Okay, now there's a difference between you can be healthy, quote unquote, from a organ, blood flow, cholesterol type level, and still be considered obese, right? I'm 5'9", 228 pounds, 13% body fat. I'm considered on the obesity scale very highly obese. Now, that's because it's height times weight, right? Like on BMI, it's height times weight. That's all the equation is. But I am muscularly dense, right? Like if I walk around without my clothes on, people don't puke in their mouth. If you do, they won't be able to see your crotch because your stomach's hanging down to your knees. And your thighs are so big that you would never be able to see inside there anyway. Right? Like you're the kind of chick who if someone goes down on, it's like the Death Star door opening with the vapor lock. Just
It's dangerous for a person who's over 500 pounds to deflect this much. By saying her size doesn't determine her health because smokers are unhealthy is honestly ridiculous, especially when she's admitted herself that she has health issues and literally needs a breathing tube so she doesn't suffocate. Eventually though, she started leaning more and more into this fat activism, and although this is where she gets most of her popularity from, it's also the reason she became infamous in the plus size community. And it all started with a single video. Before we get into that though, it's important to realise that JaeBae started to lean into fat activism not to be just part of the movement, but because those views equaled money to her, as she explained herself.
As a plus size content creator, I have a different set of challenges than other creators do.
I have that same towel. I put it on my beach chair. She just put a hole in it and put it over her head. But I have that same towel.
But I have still made thousands of dollars being a content creator, and I would highly recommend getting into content creating if it's something that you're interested in. Every day I get tons of questions about how I work with brands, how I find different brands, how I've made thousands of dollars as a content creator, and so on.
So as these videos gained views, although it gained her hate, brands actually wanted to work with JaeBae just because of the views and ad revenue. However, as we'll see, not all of these viewers were positive. Now with that in mind, JaeBae posted the first of her videos which went mega viral, and that was about plus size travel.
Plus size travel tip. The Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 are the most plus size friendly aircrafts.
This 6-second TikTok got over 1.7 million views alone, and from that point, Jalen saw dollar signs and decided to go all into her travel TikToks and videos. Videos about her travel tips gained hundreds and thousands of views, and she shares how different airlines operated and how they treat fat people.
Okay, so Alaska Airlines has a similar policy to Southwest Airlines, but it's a little bit different.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
And how they treat fat people.
Okay, so Alaska
customer of size policy. Fat people.
Airlines has a similar policy to Southwest Airlines, but it's a little bit different. Alaska Airlines does require that you buy 2 seats ahead of time if you do not fit comfortably in one seat.
And the comments on this TikTok weren't exactly positive, but they're about to get a lot worse, as one of Jalen's videos went mega viral, picking up nearly 7 million views.
People tell me every day that I shouldn't be allowed on a plane because of my size.
I want you to look at this picture. Look. Look. She's over halfway into this seat. Look. Look, like you can see where her arm is well over halfway into this seat right now.
I'm here to remind you your size doesn't have to hold you back.
Some of the comments were absolutely brutal, claiming that this should be a wake-up call, mocking her weight, and people hoping she'd paid for the extra seats. Whether it was these brutal comments or airlines not giving Jalen free seats, JaeBae started to feel as though the world was against her. She even talked.
Here's the thing. As a business owner, if there's empty seats on the flight, yeah, give Fatty one. Make it more comfortable for her. Absolutely. Why not? It doesn't hurt anybody. The person next to her is going to be thankful as fuck too, right? Just say, hey, we've got this empty seat over here. Would you like to sit here and not be suffocated by the big fat smelly fatty? And that way the big fat smelly fatty can have 2 seats. Everybody wins. Nobody loses in that scenario. However, if I'm sitting next to her and I got dinged on my bag because it was 51 pounds and not 50, I'm throwing a tantrum. But that's a different video.
About how plus-size people could survive flights, as if getting into a plane was a life-or-death scenario, and shared her next viral video, which gained 17 million views.
Things that plus-size travelers hate. When the tray table can't come down. Worrying about asking for a seatbelt extender. Having little to no room to move. Narrow aisles and bulkhead seats. Tiny airplane bathrooms. Worrying you're going to break the toilet. Getting pat down because you're fat. Tiny airport.
No, you don't get pat down because you're fat. You get pat down because when you go through the reader and the scanner, you have so much fat that it blacks areas out. So for the safety of everyone else, you get patted down. Trust me, the guys at TSA don't want to fucking touch you.
Chairs with armrests.
And the comments were brutal yet again, but they were about to get even more brutal as JaeBae started her first petition off the back of these videos.
So I wanted to make this video to talk about everything related to my plus-size travel petition. I am advocating for policies and measures to make air travel more comfortable and accessible for plus-size travelers. My petition is based on personal experiences.
Now, question. Obviously, the glow-in-the-dark butt plug that's isn't in the hole because it wouldn't light up because it'd be too far into the Netherlands, right? So do you think she just wears it on the outside and thinks that it's actually how it works? And that's what's creating this nice little illumination? Food for thought.
Of discrimination and discomfort while traveling by myself and with my partner, who's also plus size. We have faced hateful comments, disapproving looks, and even refusal to sit next to us because of our size. The mistreatment of plus size travelers is absolutely unacceptable, and urgent action is needed to protect the dignity and rights of all passengers, regardless of their size.
Jalen launched her petition, which at the time of recording has around 40,000 signatures, which laid bare her unrealistic demands. The first of these demands, which honestly isn't too bad, is just for flights to have a customer of size policy for tall people, disabled people, and of course, morbidly obese people. However, the next item on the list is where it gets really strange and controversial, as she demands that airlines must give morbidly obese people a free seat, or even multiple free seats, so that they don't spill over into the next chair. Many people have said that this is frustrating, as why should an obese person get an entire row to themselves just for free? Surprisingly, some airlines do actually have a similar customer size policy, and it's led...
Here's the thing. As a business, imagine this as a business owner, right? So let's say you save up your money your whole life and you're going to start an airplane company, right? Like you're going to fly flights from Dallas to Miami. And you're going to have your own airplane that does it. When you go to price the airplane, you price it per seat, knowing that if we get this amount of seats, we make this much money, right? Like I said, if there's empty seats, great. But if you weigh more than 2 times what the average human weighs, you should have to pay for 2 seats. And if you don't pay for 2 seats ahead of time and you get to the fucking flight and the flight's full, you're not getting on the flight. And you know how many people that'll offend a year? 10. If you flew 250 people per flight and you did 2 flights a day, so you got 500 flights a day and you do 5 flights a week, 2,500 people. Maybe 5 of those times, 5 people out of those 2,500 would be really pissed off. Fuck them.
To some extremely shocking news stories. In 2023, a woman booked up and paid upfront for her flight from Montego Bay to Baltimore, where she was traveling with 2 teenagers. However, an obese person needed an extra seat, of course, for free. This led to the woman and the 2 teenagers being kicked off the flight in order to make room for this obese woman, who had not paid for the extra seat and had not told staff that she needed an extra seat beforehand. This is where the fat activism starts to break down, as you get situations like this in order to prioritize the obese flyers. 3 people, 2 of which are teenagers, who had fully paid, had to be kicked off the flight in order to accommodate 1 person. I don't think it's controversial at all to say the obese person should have been the one to get kicked off the flight and wait.
Yeah. Yep. Or just let her float. Like, that looked pretty, like, you could do that over water, right? Just let her fat ass float.
The next one, especially as it didn't book 2
She's
tickets,
buoyant.
and JaeBae supports this exact policy, even bringing up Southwest Airlines, who are the culprits in...
Greg, I gotta say, please pick a different picture of her. Like, nobody wants to see this big old bitch in a tube top. Ever. It looks like a commercial for the Michelin Man. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
In this case, customer-sized policy.
Southwest Airlines sets an incredible example by prioritizing passenger well-being by offering a free second seat or reimbursement for the purchase of an additional seat for comfort and safety of those needing extra space. These policies enhance safety and reduces discomfort and health risks associated with cramped plane seating. Southwest Airlines' inclusive customer size policy should serve as a model for other airlines, encouraging them to accommodate plus-size passengers and eliminate discrimination.
Jalen didn't just stop at airlines and their policies, and her downfall into delusion was just beginning, as she began to suggest that hotels were being fat-phobic, and I really wish I was joking.
These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size-inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate.
Don't a lot of them have couches? And beds? Like, if your fat ass can't fit in the chair, sit on the bed. That's where you want to be anyway.
Accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity.
This person has never owned or built anything in their entire life, and it's so goddamn obvious. Do you know how many rooms are in a hotel? So if you, let's put it this way. So let's say you're buying bed frames for your hotel, okay? And you have 500 rooms. One bed frame that's good. It's got a warranty on it for 3 years. It's sturdy. It holds up to 400 pounds, blah, 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 blah. Like, that one's, let's say it's $100 a frame, but if you buy 500, they'll give it to you for 75. What she wants is ultra reinforced, which probably doubles the price of those bed frames. So what you want the business owner to do is their initial capital investment is going to be twice as much on bed frames and probably millions of others. And you want to make the halls bigger, which makes the rooms smaller, right? Which then means they have less space so that the hallways are bigger. And like, from a business perspective, it is so obvious that you've never done a fucking thing in your life. It makes me sick. Well, that's not true. You've eaten a lot.
Along with providing reinforced chairs and wider backing facilities. Number 3, make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals.
When's the last time any of you were in an elevator? Please comment below. Name a time in your life you went into an elevator and said, man, this elevator is cramped, when there wasn't 9 people and their luggage in it. How fucking big do you have to be?
And those utilizing mobility devices. Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets. Offer adjustable handheld shower heads and raised toilet seats for added accessibility. Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes.
The list of demands gets crazier and crazier, and her saying that hallways and elevators need to be wider is just absolutely insane. I've never walked through a hotel hallway and felt like I needed more room.
No shit.
I'm not sure how wide you have to be to feel that way. Commenters on YouTube had different points too, such as how her raising the height of toilet seats would be absolutely disastrous for people who have real disabilities. As a wheelchair user, raising toilet seats is one of the most inaccessible things they could do. The issue is though that Jalen has now gotten herself so large that she does need a wheelchair too, and even uses a mobility scooter, which of course was gifted to her by a brand. Now it's safe to say public perception towards JaeBae has been turning negative for quite some time, as her victim mentality...
She doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. She can walk. She doesn't want to walk. It hurts to walk. Good. Walk more. Walk instead. If I ever had to work with you, the first thing I would do is break your fucking scooter. And I would say, bitch, you know what you're going to do? You're going to walk everywhere you want to go. And magically, guess what? You're going to move. And moving burns calories. Something that you know nothing about. You don't get your fucking scooter anymore. If you want to go somewhere and you want to go shopping at the curtain store for a new shirt, like that's a tablecloth. I had this tablecloth in college. Like, look, it's a tablecloth. I had it. It was this one. It went right over the table. It was a big, long one. It was really nice. Now it's a shawl, but it used to be a tablecloth. See? And that's ingenuity, folks.
The defensive crazy policies and unrealistic demands became more and more unhinged. However, what came next was about to make her previous antics look tame. In May of 2024, Jalen took a break from her usual bragging of her paid-for holidays and took a more serious tone, as she uploaded a video of some apparently disgusting discrimination she had faced in SeaTac Airport. Basically, JaeBae requested to be pushed in a wheelchair, but after seeing the sheer size of Jalen, apparently the employee refused and walked away. And in February of 2025, Jalen talked about it.
Yeah. I'm a big dude. And if I saw this fucking rhinoceros come out of the airplane and I had to drag her from terminal A to terminal C, bro, no way. You ever tried to pull a fucking Prius? You can do it. It takes a lot of work. And I'm a big guy. I could do it. They don't pay me enough for that shit.
Again, with a plan for action.
Familiar with my experience at SeaTac where they refused to push me in a wheelchair. You saw that video, and they refused to push me because I...
So your arms are broken too? You can't push the own... Oh, you can't reach the wheels because your shit's so big. So that's the problem, is you need someone to push you because you're so fat you physically can't even use your fucking arms to push yourself. Like, I really hope that very soon there's never a video from you again because because the natural, how do I say this without getting in trouble? Because of what happens when you're this big just takes effect.
was too fat. And they had absolutely no consideration for my physical health, my well-being, my needs.
You don't have any consideration for your physical health. Look at you.
None of the above. Well, I
Did she get that from Ralphie May?
thought maybe I was the only person that happened to experience that, and it was just something that was really uncommon. And then I talked to someone incredible in our community, and they're a much smaller fat person than I am, and they experienced the same
Okay.
damn thing.
Jalen talked about how they had no consideration for her size, but commenters on the TikTok were quick to point out the hypocrisy, as Jalen had
Yeah,
no
my bag was too heavy.
consideration for employees' well-being, even stating that they legally may not have been allowed to push over 400 pounds. But Jalen did not relent and continued on her rant.
Ever had a bad experience with SeaTac, we would love for you to come out and be part of the protest. Let's show them that they cannot treat people like this. They cannot treat anyone like this, and they cannot treat fat people like this.
This is going to be the shortest protest in history. Unless they're all sitting in their scooters with their oxygen tanks holding signs. But they're not going to be able to hold the sign. So they're going to have to plant it on the back of their wheelchair and then stand there and go, hey, bear.
It's unacceptable and it's discrimination and it will not be tolerated any longer. So if you want to be a part of this protest, DM me tonight, DM me tomorrow, but let's go ahead and make it happen. We will be at SeaTac Airport Tuesday, February 4th. If you want to protest at SeaTac in solidarity with me, come on by.
In
If you see me at
solidarity.
SeaTac, please come up and say hello.
So Jalen had spoke to countless people who had had the same experience of discrimination and who were also outraged for the situation they'd been put in. She had planned a huge protest in retaliation, with all the people in the plus size community to come down and make their voices heard. Jalen uploaded this call to action and gained 140,000 views, with support from the comments and her community. So February 4th rolled in, and so did Jalen.
Before we see this, she had one fatal flaw. Is when you ask really overweight people, fat, lazy people who have no self-control or self-discipline to go do anything, they don't want to go do it because they're fat and lazy. You're literally trying to mobilize the worst people on earth to mobilize.
SeaTac Airport, and she kickstarted her protest. However,
Her shoulders burn so bad, dude. She's definitely sitting down. You know what? This actually makes me mad, but I'm laughing too hard to be mad. She uses the hashtag wheelchair access for all. You're going, like, at least say it like fat shaming or like fat phobic or something, right? Like, and I hate the word phobic because phobic means fear of, right? Like it's a fear of something, right? So like if you're transphobic, you're afraid of trans people. If you're fat phobic, you're afraid of fat people. The only thing that's afraid of fat people is Wendy's.
she was the only attendee, holding up a lonely sign all alone.
What did I say? What did I? You tried to mobilize the immobile. Know your audience, queen.
In a pretty deserted airport. People in her comments weren't exactly supportive either. Why should someone risk physical injury to push you? So you're really expecting the average person to be able to push your entire body weight when you can't even walk or get yourself around due to your body weight? Things were heating up.
That was based.
For Jalen. The entire internet was having a bit of a pile-on, and her videos were more popular than ever. But, like we've seen, it wasn't exactly positive attention. Now, I don't agree with flat-out bullying, but I think it's important to point out the flaws in Jalen's arguments and question why we should accommodate obesity more than the disabilities, and why should obese people have priority over average-sized passengers, like we saw with the Southwest Airlines story. Now, I'm sure the pressure of the internet was taking a toll on Jalen's mental health.
This must have been when the drive-thru was closed. Or DoorDash didn't deliver that far.
As no matter how mentally strong and confident someone can say they are, everyone has a limit.
Is that an onion ring or a nose ring?
Put that alongside her failing physical health due to her size, the cracks would inevitably begin to show. Now, if you are someone who wants to make a change to your physical health, I'd highly recommend signing up to the Fat Loss Kitchen, where every Friday I'll send you high protein, low calorie meal ideas.
Well done, ad.
Completely free.
Well done, ad, sir.
Made for busy people who are trying to lose weight in a healthy
That's a pro.
way and are sick
That's a
of
pro
eating the
YouTuber.
same boring meals, and judging by the reviews we've had so far, it's safe to say.
See, guys, I sell protein and fat burners and pre-workouts. If you want to, you can go over.
People are absolutely
Well
loving
done.
it. The
Well
link
done.
is in the description to
Well
sign
done.
up, and make sure you sign up quick so you don't miss the huge announcement that'll be coming out soon.
Yep,
So
urgency.
make sure you sign
Create
up
urgency.
so you don't miss out. Now, back to Jalen. These cracks showed sooner rather than later. And on the 23rd of February 2025, she posted this video to her Instagram, showing her crying in the car, videoing her feet, and what seems to be her throwing up into a bag. The caption was even stranger too, and she's actually edited it so we can't see what was there in the first place, but it now reads as follows. I am now safe. My perpetrator is going to be served. I have a chat with the police department number. I am safe and his family and what they have done to me will be exposed. And I'm not threatening anyone, but that's what God...
You know what? Keep eating, baby. Just keep eating. Keep eating as much as you can. And when you get full, keep eating more. Just keep eating. Do us all a favor.
has told me to do. Now, it's not clear what was actually wrong with Jalen, except in her bio she states it was abuse and sepsis, but what she did share was a GoFundMe, for people to help her with her journey to healing and safety, as she put it. I don't know why the first thing she does is make a GoFundMe, especially after bragging all over Instagram and TikTok about
Have you seen food prices? Come on.
how she gets free holidays and makes thousands of dollars as an influencer. To me, this is a completely ridiculous thing to do, and people agreed. One person commented that her post was dramatic, and JaeBae actually threatened them with legal action if they didn't remove that comment. But it gets even worse. JaeBae
Bring it, bitch. See, these are the kind of people who you need people like me to fuck up. Like, you need people like me to be like, dude, go ahead. Big bank takes little bank in any fucking lawsuit. And I'll punish you.
DM'd another person and continued to insult them, laughing at their physical appearance and even threatened to get them fired from their job, all because they liked a comment calling her dramatic. Now, it's completely ironic that JaeBae, someone who's advocated for the rights of fat people...
Here's what's interesting. I wouldn't even, like, I don't read any, I'm not going to lie, I don't really read comments. I don't care. I post content. I produce more than I consume. And I really don't care about the opinions of random people because they don't matter. They're irrelevant. They don't mean anything. They're fugazi, they're fugazi, they're a wizzy, there's a wazzy, they're right? Like, they don't matter. They don't matter. Why do we, who cares what some bridge troll on the internet says? If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. You don't have to read. You can just live your life.
completely broke down at someone, and the first thing she did was laugh at their physical appearance, and in my opinion just showed her true colours as an absolute grifter. She doesn't care about the greater good or making the world a better place. She only cares if she can make money from it, and if someone tries to stop her from making money, she actually attacks them. Unfortunately for JaeBae, the real trouble was still yet to come, and she would soon face the consequences.
What does she do to attack them? Does she run into their heels with a scooter? Or are her, I'll bet you her thumbs are real strong. I bet you that's the only part on her body with muscles.
For her actions. On the 3rd of March 2025, someone on Reddit posted some breaking news. We were tipped off to JaeBae being arrested. Charges include a Class C felony.
Really?
The charge sheet wasn't looking good. One count of
Do you know how much of an asshole you have to be for a cop to give you 6 charges in the same incident? I've done dumb shit in my life and drank too much and dealt with police, and I have a lot of friends that are police. You have to be a world-class prick to get a cop to do this to you. I just want you to know, like, whatever she did to this officer was egregious.
Use of 911 system, 1 count of resisting arrest and obstructing law enforcement, and finally 1 count of assault and criminal trespass. Honestly, I'm impressed that her nearly 600-pound body could carry all of these out, and I can't wait for the body cam footage to be released. Now, I'm no expert, but I think the assault charge
where's that?
Class C is quite a big deal, and ChatGPT told me that it could lead to a prison time of 3 to 10 years and fines of up to $10,000, which JaeBae...
So what you have to understand with any crime, it's like even if you get a misdemeanor, like there's up to, right? But then there's standard practice, and like what's probably going to happen here if they don't talk about it in the rest of this video, what typically will happen here is they will drop 5 of these charges if she pleads to 1, and then they'll give her community service because they don't want her in jail. Right? And they don't. The system doesn't want her in jail solely for the fact that it's going to be a nightmare.
Will surely beg for money to pay for. At the time of recording this video, JaeBae hasn't posted any updates since this incident, but has kept the Venmo and Cash App links on her profile. So we can only assume.
Well, that's not fair. Okay, that's Greg. That's not fair. Because if she is in jail, she wouldn't be able to edit those things. And even if she could, why would she take those off? Like, if you were in jail or you were getting charged with serious crimes, including a felony and 5 misdemeanors, the last thing you'd be thinking about is like, oh, I got to update my YouTube profile so I can take down my Venmo. Like, no one is going to do that. 0 people are going to do that. Why would you not leave it up? Like, even if I got in trouble and I had like hey, you can give me money here, I would leave that up in perpetuity just because magically somebody might give me money. And then when I get out, I got money.
She's still in prison and cannot afford the bail. JaeBae is the prime example of a fat activism group.
Now, if that's true, look back here. The bond amount's $2,500. See, bail bond right here, $2,500. With the amount of views that she gets, if she's putting it out on now, I don't know exactly what channel she puts them out on, or if she's monetized, and I would assume she has some type of monetizations. She would have accrued this easily over the time, just given the view counts that he's been talking about, right? She would have accrued this. So I would highly doubt that. I would bet more that it may be one of those things where either she's had a come to Jesus or it's still pending. Right, 228.25. It's definitely still pending, right? Most court stuff takes forever, right? Like in 2011, I got a DUI and I got it reduced, and it was like a 10-month process for like that, and that's a pretty common thing. This is much more egregious, and bigger. So I would imagine it would probably take anywhere from 6 to 18 months for this to kind of be finalized, which means you're looking at, if the booking was 228, right? Like, so you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 828 minimum. So you're still a month out. So odds are that even if she was in jail, and she wasn't paying her bond, and her lawyer said, hey, just stay in, that way we can do time served as your punishment when we plea. That may be the case. Unlikely, but it may be. I think it's probably more along the line of her lawyer said, hey, stay the fuck off the internet.
If someone on Reddit posted some breaking news, we were tipped off to JaeBae being arrested. Charges include a Class C felony.
Sorry.
$dollars. We can only assume she's still in prison and cannot afford the bail. JaeBae is the prime example of a fat activism grifter. As soon as she realized she can make money from travel videos, posting rage bait online, and get rewarded while doing so, she lent into it even more, causing her worldview to get more and more twisted and delusional. She kept her victim mindset throughout, causing her to pay the ultimate price and lose all respect of the internet. Now, if you want to see more influencers who are part of the body positivity movement and met a very predictable...
Great video. Awesome job, Greg. Awesome job. I'm going to like this. Hang on. I'll do it in front of everybody so you can see it. I'm going to make sure his channel's up here. So there's the channel. Like, subscribe. There you go. Great video, dude. I've watched some of your content in the past, really like it, so I'm going to continue to watch, continue to support. Guys, go give him a follow, give him a like. Great job.